question is to the both of you. As diplomats, what would you recommend for young people who are wanting to join the Foreign Office? What sort of experiences would you recommend that they get in order to get to the position where you two are right now?
Sure. So the UK system is very unusual in the way it recruits diplomats. If you were French or German, you would be expected to do specific courses before you even applied to become a diplomat. You would be expected to know certain languages. You would be expected, if you were German, probably you would have a law degree, etc., etc. In the UK system, all you need to have is any old university degree. Doesn't matter what it is. The exams you will take will be extremely general. So it's a tiny bit of general knowledge, but more of it is about how you interact with other people, how you are at solving problems, what kind of imagination you have. So it's very, very hard to prepare for. And when I speak to students, I always encourage them to get a bit of life experience. You know, the Foreign Office does take some people straight from university, but it takes quite a lot of others who have already worked in different parts of the world. You know, it's great if you speak Mandarin and Russian, but the Foreign Office will give you a test to see how good you are at learning languages, and then they will teach you the languages that you need in whatever job you're going to go and do. Similarly, you know, if you know a great deal about some part of the world, that's really helpful, but it may not actually get you into the Foreign Office. So I would urge you to really study the exams. The exams are highly important. Get some experience of life. Have views on things. You know, if it's not enough to read The Economist. You know, you've got to actually have thought about international relations, the kind of things we're talking about here. You know, probably reading this book would be very helpful. You know, all the things that are in there, and you know, get to a position where if somebody says to you, you know, what do you think about the importance of Mercosur, or what do you think about the shift in the balance of power in East Asia, that you can say something sensible about it. That's not just what you read in the newspaper. So that would be my general view.
I think that's spot on. I think people often ask me, how do you get into the Foreign Office? And it's very difficult to put your finger on it, really. But I think the key is actually not just head, it's not just knowledge, it's head, hand and heart, it's knowledge, skills and values. And we've recently developed a qualification called Global Competence, which I think is really the key to it, which is this ability that if you were dropped into Kyiv or Astana or hitchhiking through Germany, that you'd have the curiosity about the world around you and the ability to ask the right questions and to adapt. It's emotional intelligence, really. I say to my students, it's like, visualizing that we all have an Instagram filter on the world through which we see things, and the ability to take your filter off and to recognize that everyone else has their own filter. That actually is the key, I think, to diplomacy. That's what gives you that emotional intelligence that you need. It's something you can see that, you know, Lee has. If you drop Lee anywhere, you wouldn't even know you're doing it, but you'll be analysing the room, you'll be thinking about, I mean, again, not in a scientific way, the interaction between the different people in the room. You'll be thinking, well, I wonder why so-and-so's grumpy today, and so-and-so looks like they've had a bad day or a good day. All of that's going on somewhere in that head, and it's very difficult to teach it. And the best way to learn it is to get out there and practice and travel and talk to people.
There is a story in the book, actually, about my visit to Anguilla. When I'd been to see the prison, I'd been to see the government, I'd been to see all the projects that were going on in Anguilla, and it was time for me to catch my plane, but I had a couple of hours, and the governor sent me in his Range Rover with his driver, Granville, to have a look around the island, and he showed me around the island, and we saw this and that and the other. He said, this is where Jennifer Aniston split up with Brad Pitt, you know, other important sites. And at the end, he said, do you have time to go for a swim? And I said, sure, you know, I've got my trunks here and in my suitcase. So he drove down this very rutted, narrow track, and we arrived at the beach. And it was a completely godforsaken beach, beautiful beach, but very off the beaten track. There was just a shack there with a bemused, middle-aged American tourist sitting there watching us. And he watched as I got out of the car and took my suit off, went behind the car door, pulled on my trunks, got the snorkel, walked down to the beach, swam around a bit, looked at the fish, thought, yeah, you know, this job has its moments. Came back, all wet. Granville was waiting there with a towel for me, so I dried myself off, went behind the car door, pulled off my trunks, pulled on my suit again, made to get into the car, and Granville was holding the door open for me, and the American said to me, "How do you get a job like that?" The same question you've just asked, in fact. And I said you have to take some exams.